Imagine this. You're standing in a room full of people, and someone just said something that made everyone laugh. Not because it was funny, but because the target of that comment was you. In that moment, your heart races, your face flushes, your mind goes blank, and you feel like the whole room is staring at you. At this moment, most people will do one of two things: either get angry or silently endure it. But interestingly, both of those reactions cause you to lose power. There's a truth most people don't realize. When someone humiliates you in front of a crowd, they're not really testing your intelligence. They're testing your ability to control your emotions. And the one who loses their composure first, usually the one who loses power first. You only have about 3 seconds to decide what happens next. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do in those 3 seconds. The first thing you need to understand is this. People who try to humiliate you in front of a crowd are usually not looking for the truth. They are looking for a reaction. They want you to get angry. They want you to be confused. They want you to lose control, because that moment makes them feel stronger. In other words, your reaction is their energy. The stronger your reaction, the more power you empower them. Imagine a small dog barking at everything it encounters. It barks at cars. It barks at passers-by. It even barks at the falling leaves. That bark doesn't say much about the world around it. It says more about the dog itself. The same goes for people who enjoy humiliating others. Their behavior often reflects their insecurities more than your value. This is the biggest mistake most people make. They think they are being attacked, so they retaliate immediately. But that very reaction leads them into the trap the other person has set. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman once pointed out that the human brain has 2 ways of thinking. One way is very fast, and one way is slower but more insightful. When offended, the fast brain almost always wants to react immediately. That's why many people say things they regret, just seconds after losing their temper, not because they're bad people, but because emotions took control before reason could get behind the wheel. Next time that happens, don't react immediately. Give yourself 3 seconds. Just 3 seconds. Those 3 seconds could save you hours of regret. An insulting person wants you to act on emotion. A wise person acts on choice. And the difference between the two is control. When insulted, most people feel compelled to say something immediately. But truly confident people don't feel that pressure. They understand that not every attack deserves a response. Try to notice this. The most powerful people in a meeting, often not the ones who talk the most. They are the ones who get the whole room to listen when they decide to speak. When someone tries to humiliate you, a brief pause, a calm gaze, often more irritating than any counterattack. Because the other person was prepared for anger, prepared for an argument, prepared for defense, but they were not prepared for calmness. Sometimes, silence isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're strong enough not to be drawn into other people's games. When someone tries to embarrass you in front of a crowd, they usually hope everyone will pretend nothing happened. That's where they have the advantage, because no one will call out what they just did. But sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is to calmly point out what's happening, not to attack, not to argue, simply to state the truth. For example, you might ask, "Did I hear that wrong? Or was that meant to embarrass me?" A simple question, but it completely changes the game. Psychologists call this the social perception effect. When a behavior is brought to light, people begin to judge that behavior. You don't need to win the argument. You just need to make people see what just happened. And many times, that's enough. This is when many people make mistakes. They start explaining. They start justifying. They start trying to prove they're right. And the more they talk, the more they lose the advantage. Truly confident people usually do the opposite. They speak little, but every word is clear, concise, and decisive. If someone mocks your goals, you can simply say, "That's okay. Not everyone needs to understand the path I'm taking." If someone brings up an old failure, you can say, "Yes, and I learned a lot from it." No defensiveness, no shame, just growth. The most powerful person in the room Often not the one who speaks the loudest, but the one who doesn't need to prove their worth to anyone. This is something most people overlook. They handle the situation well in front of a crowd, but then they do nothing, and that's what causes it to repeat itself. If someone has embarrassed you repeatedly, the problem isn't that particular moment anymore. The problem is that they've learned that such behavior has no consequences. So, after it's all over, find an opportunity to talk to them privately. Don't be angry. Don't blame. Just be clear. You don't need a long speech. Sometimes just a simple sentence will do. What just happened should not happen again. Short, but very clear. Confident people don't set boundaries because they hate others. They set boundaries because they respect themselves, and they expect others to do the same. When someone humiliates you in front of a crowd, they are trying to take something away. Not money, not time, but your dignity. But dignity is not something others can easily take away. It is only lost when you give it to them, through anger, through fear, or by doubting your own worth. Every time you stay calm, every time you refuse to react emotionally, every time you defend your boundaries, you are becoming stronger. And interestingly, those who are truly respected rarely have to prove their strength. Their composure speaks for itself. Next time someone tries to humiliate you in front of a crowd, remember this. You have 3 seconds to choose. 3 seconds to maintain control. 3 seconds to maintain your dignity. If this video was helpful, leave a comment. I will remember those 3 seconds. And don't forget to subscribe to Mr. Success. Together we build confidence, courage, and wisdom every day.